Go. And I'm missing a child. 1 second. Dolly! Kiddo, it's bedtime. Alessandra. Where are you? Okay. Well, I found a tablet. I have to go and find a child. Dalsandro. Dale. Dalsandro, it's bedtime. Come on. Get upstairs. Come on. It's bedtime. It's not party time. It's bedtime. Okay? Bedtime. Okay? Okay, well that doesn't help because you have to read, okay? So we do need the light on. Okay, but yeah, you get the point. Okay. Bedtime. Yeah, well, it's charging up again because you don't leave things on the charger. Okay. Okay. Where are we at now? 34. Okay. Okay, so we stopped last night at Council of War. David's firstborn son has been killed by his other son. So we're now at 2 Samuel 15:13 through 17:13. The news that his own son, Absalom, has led a revolt against him leaves David in a state of shock. Absalom, how can I fight my own son, my own people? Whom can I count on to stand with me? Friends will make themselves known. We must escape before Absalom attacks the city. Tell my family and my servants, all who are loyal, to get ready to leave Jerusalem. Hey. What? No, also, hey. You don't get to be angry, okay? Sometimes things are going to go your way, and you have to learn how to deal with that. Okay? And you can't just smack people, okay? Dale. You can't smack people. Do you want me to pull your toes? Hey, no smacking. Do you want me to pull your toes?
Yeah.
Okay. I will do that. Okay, we'll do that real quick, and then we'll continue on with our reading, okay? All right.
Can you help me find the list? What about you?
You have to relax. Oh, that was a good crack. Oh, that was a good one too. Okay. Let me do the other foot. Oh, your fingers. Oh, okay. That was a good one. Okay. Let me do the other hand. Other hand, other foot. Mommy goes like this. And then I get all my fingers done that way. The toes are a little more tricky. Okay. So, at dawn, David leads his people out of the city. At the last house, he stops to watch his followers pass by. In the procession are the priests carrying God's holy ark. Stop. Take it back to the city. God wills it. I will return to the city and worship again before his ark. The number who choose to join David grows with each passing hour. But David sends one of them back. His name's Hushai. You can serve me better if you offer to help Absalom. Maybe you can keep him from following the advice of those who have betrayed me. You are my king, and I will serve you in any way you ask. Hushai returns in time to see Absalom ride into the city. In the crowds there are shouts of joy and praise, but there is also fear. This means war. Like the man in the crowd, Hushai knows that war will soon be upon them. He offers his services to Absalom, and along with Ahithophel, pretty sure I pronounced that differently last night, is called to the first council of war. Ahithophel speaks first. We must attack while David is weak and on the run. No, Ahithophel's advice is not good. David and his men are Israel's best fighters, and right now they are angry as bears, robbed of their young. If you attack and suffer any defeat, the people will turn against you. Wait until you can call upon thousands of men. Then, if you, O king, lead them, hide out in a well. From 2 Samuel, chapter 17, verses 14 through 23. How do you pronounce that name? Ahithophel.
A-H-I. Ahithophel?
Ahithophel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahithophel.
Ahithophel. All right. Ahithophel has advised Absalom to attack King David while he is fleeing for his life. But Hushai, secretly working for David, tells Absalom to wait until his own forces are better prepared. No. Hushai's advice will help your father more than you. Give David time to get his forces prepared, and the battle is his. Remember, defeat means death to all of us. But Absalom will not listen. Gosh, you just said it, and now I can't remember. Ahithophel is so sure the rebellion will fail, and he will die a traitor's death, that he goes home and commits suicide. Meanwhile, back in Jerusalem, Hushai's well-organized plan is being carried out. 2 of our men are waiting at the Kidron fountain. Tell them what we have told you. Be careful. King David's life is in your hands. With a water jug on her head, the girl walks boldly out of the city gate, and at the appointed place meets the 2 men. Tell King David not to stop until he has reached the other side of the Jordan River. The men leave, but on the way, don't look now, but I think we have been seen. Let's play it safe and hide out in Barum. Spies. The boy races back to the city and reports what he has seen to Prince Absalom. Find those spies and bring them to me. Absalom's soldiers follow the trail until they reach a house in Barum. We're searching for spies. Has anyone been here? Yes, 2 men, but they left in the direction of the river. The soldiers search the house, but when they find nothing, they move on. Come up, the soldiers have gone. Even Absalom's men wouldn't know there was a well here. I'm glad it was a dry one. I'm proud to help my king, but go, the soldiers might return. The messengers hurry on, and that night David and his followers cross the Jordan. Father against son. From 2 Samuel chapter 17, verse 24 through 18, verse 9. Absalom's soldiers search for the messengers who have been sent to warn David. When they cannot find them, they return to Jerusalem. Meanwhile, David and his followers reach the city of Mahanaim. Here's some food and bedding my master has sent for King David and his friends. God bless you. Tell your master I will not forget his kindness. David quickly organizes his army and waits for the message he expects but dreads. Prince Absalom and his forces have crossed the Jordan River. Good. If we move fast, you can determine the place of the battle. Right, Joab. Give the orders to march. I'll go with you. No, your life is too valuable. Stay in the city and be ready to help if we need it. If it seems best to you, I will stay here. At the gate, for my sake, deal gently with Absalom. He's my son, and in spite of what he's doing, I love him. The armies meet head-on in the woods of Ephraim. David's men attack with such fury that Absalom's army is thrown into panic and retreats. The battle is lost. Absalom is afraid that if he is caught, he will suffer a traitor's death. He tries to escape and is caught on a low-hanging branch of an oak. The king returns. From 2 Samuel 18:24 and 1 Kings chapter 1 verses 1 through 9. Prince Absalom's revolt against his father, King David, leads to a terrible battle in the woods of Ephraim. When Absalom sees that the fight is going against him, he tries to escape, but General Joab, Absalom is caught back here in a tree. Absalom, why didn't you kill him on the spot? Kill the king's son? Never. I heard David tell you and the other leaders to be careful of Absalom. Wasting time, I'll do it myself. Joab and his armor bearers rushed back to the tree to kill Absalom. The trumpet of victory sounded. The battle is over. Messengers carry news of the battle to David. My son, Absalom, is he all right? May all the king's enemies be as that young man. Broken-hearted David climbs into the lookout above the gate. Alone he mourns for his son. Oh, my son Absalom, would I had died instead of you. My son, my son. In his grief, David turns his back on the man who won the victory for him. Finally, Joab goes to see the king. You act as if you wish Absalom had won the victory. Have you forgotten the men who fought to save you and your family and your kingdom? If this keeps up, all your friends will turn against you. David sees the truth of Joab's words. He makes peace with the tribes that had sided with Absalom and goes back to Jerusalem. Soon after, the royal family is settled again in the palace. Queen Bathsheba speaks to David. When our son Solomon was born, he promised he would be king after you. But I fear his half-brothers will cause trouble. Have no fear. Solomon will rule Israel. I have trouble speaking tonight. What is going on? Years pass, and David grows old. Finally, word spreads throughout Jerusalem that the king's health is failing fast. The people know that David has chosen Solomon to be king and to build the temple of God. But there are rumors. And in the palace, one of David's sons, Adonijah, meets with the high priest, Abiathar, and General Joab. My father is growing weaker, and the time has come for me to carry out our plan. Bring all the king's sons except my half-brother Solomon, and meet me at the Serpent's Stone. The plot that failed. From 1 Kings, chapter 1, verses 9 to 49. The books, 1st and 2nd Kings, and 2nd Chronicles. Record the history of the Hebrew Empire through the years of Solomon's reign. The division of the kingdom into two separate nations, Judah and Israel, and the fall of both. King David is growing weaker. His oldest son, Adonijah, knows that if he is to accomplish his purpose, he must act swiftly. Secretly, he invites some of his friends to a feast outside the city and proclaims himself king. Eat and be merry. Before the day is over, I will sit on the throne of Israel, and you, my friends, will be rewarded for your loyalty. But while Adonijah is feasting, Nathan, the prophet of God, is talking with Queen Bathsheba. Have you heard? Adonijah has proclaimed himself king. If you would save yourself and your son Solomon, do as I say. Tell me, and I'll do it. Following Nathan's advice, she goes at once to David. Hey. My lord, you promised that my son Solomon would rule after you, but even now his half-brother Adonijah has declared himself king. Send for Nathan and Zadok the priest. Take Solomon to the sacred spring of Gihon and declare him king. Zadok and Nathan act at once. Solomon rides his father's mule to the spring of Gihon. And there is made king of Israel. The trumpet sounds. God save King Solomon. As Solomon returns to the city, the people greet their new king with shouts of joy. So great is the noise of the celebration that it reaches Adonijah's feast. What's going on in the city? At that moment, a messenger enters. What good news do you have for us? The noise you hear is the shouting of all Jerusalem. David has made Solomon king. Knowing that they may be drowned in his praise, Adonijah's guests flee in terror. Is there no chance to save my life? Death of the king. From 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 49 to 2, verse 46. When Prince Adonijah learns that his father, King David, has made Solomon king of all Israel, Adonijah knows that his own plot to steal the throne has failed. In fear for his life, he runs to the tabernacle and grabs hold of the horns of the altar of sacrifice. I will not let go until Solomon promises not to kill me. Solomon agrees to spare Adonijah's life if he proves himself worthy of the king's trust. Adonijah promises and is brought before his young half-brother, my lord and king. Solomon later believes both Adonijah and General Joab to be disloyal, and they are executed. One day, David calls Solomon to him. My son, I am dying. This is my last counsel to you. Be strong and show yourself a man. Keep God's commandments and walk in his way. And David, Saleh, baby, relax. Then David, who ruled Israel for 40 years, dies, and is buried in a tomb within the walls of Jerusalem, the capital of his kingdom. All Israel mourns the death of the shepherd boy who built Israel into a mighty empire, and whose faith in God is revealed in one of his psalms, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Solomon becomes ruler of an empire that stretches from Euphrates River on the north to Egypt on the south, from the Mediterranean Sea on the west to the Arabian Desert on the east. Never before has Israel been so great and so united under God. And to the new ruler come princes from all parts of the empire to pledge their loyalty. The people are happy. Israel is at peace. Solomon establishes good relations with many of the neighboring countries by marrying the princesses of those nations. Rulers of the countries conquered by David pay tribute money to Solomon's treasury. So begins the golden age of Israel. To launch his first great building project, Solomon sends a messenger to his father's old friend, King Hiram of Tyre. King Solomon sends his greetings and asks if he will send him cedar and cypress logs and skilled workers to help him build a temple to God in Jerusalem. Blessed be the Lord for giving my friend David such a wise son. D'Alessandro, calm down on the clapping. Bedtime clapping. Bedtime clapping. Jan. Okay. Tell your king I will give him what he asks in exchange for wheat and oil, which are scarce in our country. The deal is made, and soon men by the thousands are ordered to work in the forests of Lebanon. cutting cedar trees for Solomon's temple. On the seacoast west of the Lebanon forest, the logs are tied together to form giant rafts. These are floated down to Israel. At the seaport of Joppa, the log rafts are broken up and the timbers are dragged more than 30 miles across rugged country to Jerusalem. Near Jerusalem, thousands of men toil in the great quarries. Chisel a bit from this side. Every stone must be made to fit perfectly. Meanwhile, wood carvers and gold beaters are at work in Jerusalem. These doors would be as beautiful just as they are. Covered with gold, they'll be the finest in the world. Slowly, carefully, for 7 long years, the work goes on, until at last the most beautiful building in all of Israel is finished. And that's where we'll end for tonight because you're clapping so very loud. And I think we've reached about 20 minutes. Okay. Are you going to actually go to sleep tonight? Or am I going to find you awake at 2 a.m. with all the lights on again? Now that Ado and Nando have gone home, are you going to actually stay in your room and go to sleep? Maybe? Alright. Alright, let's get some quiet time music going here. Oh, I like the aquarium. The aquarium is nice. Okay. It is bedtime. Oh no. One, she's just sleeping. Alright, good night.